Let's bring the governor of New Hampshire into the conversation. Republican Chris Sununu joins us right now. Governor Sununu, of course, as you probably know, has endorsed President Trump. So I was trying to figure out, what's a regular kind of first question to ask you rather than, oh, what'd you think of last night and that kind of thing. But so let me try this. Who do you think will be the nominees of the Democratic and Republican Party that are on the ballot November 5th?
Yeah, so look, I called for Biden, and I thought Biden would be taken off the ballot a year ago. People said I was crazy, but actually he is going to be on the ballot. He's going to be the nominee. There's too many factors that would go into play to try to replace him right now. First, he would have to be replaced, and that would have to happen like today, right? And clearly that's not the case. Who's going to step in with about 4 months to go, having to raise $500 million? That's a hard thing, knowing that, yeah, you might be the nominee. You probably lose as much, if not worse than Biden, trying to get your name ID out there. That's just not a good scenario for anyone to step up into. And there's no doubt the Biden campaign strategy is, look, we had a bad night, but we have another debate. And if he can show strength and come out competent in the second debate, maybe America puts that first one, in the rearview mirror, and they can hit the reset button. So I think there's a lot of downfalls. As much as all the smart liberal pundits want to talk about replacing Biden, it would actually be a really dumb idea at this point.
Well, there's smart liberal pundits now,
so it's
but it was a Republican governor from New Hampshire, to your point, that was one of the first to bring it up. So
well, look,
to me, maybe it's that. Well, for the Republicans, though, you're probably thinking, well, it's better off if they don't replace him now. After last night, you like the matchup better.
Well,
right?
No. I think Trump has a head of steam. He's raising money. He showed competence. He did exactly what he had to do last night, not get too blowhardy. He was clearly the adult in the room. Biden just looked absolutely horrible. We all know that. But let's remember, this is not Joe Biden's fault, by the way. This is the Democrat elites that said, we're going to try to skip the New Hampshire first in the nation primary. We're going to coronate Joe Biden when we know he's a problem. They had their chance, right? And this is what you get when they try to basically play games instead of let a good primary process play out. Republicans had a good primary process. Trump won. We made, God bless Nikki Haley, who tried to get her in there, but she made sure the majority of actual voters, Republican voters, chose their nominee, and Trump's it. And again, Trump kind of carries that head of steam into this election, and now they're just sputtering. But they've created their own problem here, there's no doubt. But Biden will likely be the one on the ticket.
All right, a couple things here as we wait for Trump at that rally in Virginia. There's been some talk, a lot of people saying on the Democratic side, hey, where was that Biden that we saw this afternoon last night? So a back and forth last night versus today in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's listen to the president.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway.
The choice in this election is simple. Donald Trump will destroy our democracy. I will defend it. So, folks, are you with me?
Now, I'll be the first to say you should see me when the teleprompter goes down. I'm a disaster, too. So he did have the prompter today of the big crowd. Is that what you were going to say? It's a different situation? Or?
No, you've hit it right on the head. Look, when you have a teleprompter, 80% of the time Biden can keep it together and read from the teleprompter. But when you have to think on your feet, come up, and not know the questions coming before you. And here's the scariest part. I mean, he's president today. There are decisions that he needs to be making today and tomorrow and for the next 7 months. And there's no teleprompter in the corner office when you have to make tough decisions. So I think that's one of the most disconcerting things, is that that's what we saw last night is clearly the real Joe Biden, what you get behind the scenes. And I think that makes a lot of people nervous. And it makes a lot of people start lining up the dots. Okay, this is why we're in the economic crisis we have. This is why we have an immigration crisis that's out of control. It's all making sense now to the American people, and they just want to change.
I hope. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.